Okay, so we want to get back to the big news. We've been started with this story, and we will continue with this story. Hulk Hogan, wrestling icon, dead at the age of 71. We want to get to our content partners there in Tampa, Florida. WTSP, they're doing continuous coverage right now as we await for a press conference. I just want to point out, Tampa is, or the area where Hulk Hogan lived, his home. So let's take a listen in to their coverage.
In the 1980s, and the WWE extends its condolences to Hogan's family, friends, and fans.
Absolutely. Just moments ago, we were showing some of the highlights of Hulk Hogan's iconic career. And, you know, one of the highlights that we were talking about, if you're just now joining us right here on 10 Tampa Bay Plus, is we are awaiting a press conference at 1:30 this afternoon. We had some video of Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3. Do we have that? If we have that queued up, I'd like to show it to our viewers out there. Because it shows him facing off against iconic wrestler in his own right, Andre the Giant. This was WrestleMania 3. Now, if you're a fan of wrestling, you've definitely maybe had a poster of this moment right here. Andre the Giant is the other man that is in that squared circle, as Hulk Hogan used to call it, about to get body slammed. Two very large men entertaining the crowd inside that arena and beyond, and the leg drop right there.
I mean, you had so many people, young boys who watched this growing up and, you know, practice. Maybe they shouldn't have been practicing and doing this with their brothers and cousins and things like that. But, you know, such, again, as you said before, a larger-than-life figure who really, again, popularized the WWE and just really grew that company, grew that business, and made a lot of people had a lot of dreams about things they wanted to be growing up.
A lot of dreams indeed, and that really set the stage for him to become the icon that he is now known to be.
All right, and now we want to bring in Jennifer Titus, who's here with us to talk a little bit about Hulk Hogan and his childhood. And you're from the Tampa Bay area, so you know you kind of grew up having this and knowing him around.
Yeah, because Hulk Hogan grew up. Terry Bollea grew up in Tampa. He grew up just south of Gandy in Tampa, in the Port Tampa neighborhood. We actually went out to his childhood home probably about 10 years ago and talked to neighbors, because you know Hulk Hogan, you know Terry Bollea. He was always making headlines, maybe sometimes not for the best things. And so I remember going out there because he had made some remarks about that neighborhood he grew up in, and we talked to neighbors who were like, we grew up with Terry. That we were there with him. He played baseball at the high school. He grew up from the high school there. He was here in the Tampa area, and then of course he went and did his thing with the WWE, and then came back and has opened up restaurants and everything else, and has called Clearwater home for forever.
I got to ask you, what's the recollection of the people he grew up with at that time? Because I'm sure they saw some semblance of stardom in him, but
he wasn't. They only knew him as Terry then, right?
Right.
He wasn't Hulk Hogan. So it's kind of. I remember talking to them, and we're going to go back out there when we finish here, because this neighborhood is smaller and tight knit. So I remember when we were out there, these are people that had lived there their entire lives, and so I'm guessing when we go back out there, they'll be out there, and they just are like this. We remember Terry. He played with us in the backyard. You know, it wasn't the wealthiest neighborhood, but like that was home for them, and they're still there. The people that were his neighbors will probably still be there, and he had talked about it. He came out with a book, I think that's what it was, about 10 years or so ago, and talked about his childhood home there. And so we're going to go back out there. It's still there, and I know people till this day still look at that as like a historic landmark. Like they look and they're like, oh, it's the childhood home of Hulk Hogan. So I know a lot of WWE fans have made their way to that spot. So a lot of people know where it is there. We're going to go out there. But yeah, it's just, you know, that was Terry Bollea's home. Nobody knew who Hulk Hogan was.
Beach, you see that statue there, right? That's one of the first things I saw when I moved here.
Yeah, that is the statue and Hogan's restaurant, and you know, he had the television show that was all based there. That was all filmed, the reality show that was all filmed out there on Clearwater Beach. And then of course, I think right around the time his book came out, we had the big lawsuit against Gawker where he won $100 million against a website. And I covered that and saw him come into the courtroom every single day there. And then of course, like we've said, he's made headlines over the past couple of years. And then unfortunately today, his death.
Yeah, really sad moments. And, you know, that press conference is going to be happening in about 10 or so minutes. We have crews there at the scene. But Titus, I have to ask you, growing up here in the Tampa Bay area, did you hear all of the talk, like classmates, was Hulk Hogan just like their favorite because he was from this area?
And I think it was just Hulk Hogan, right? He was so like just this bigger than life personality at the time when the WWE was exploding. Like I remember when Randy Savage passed away probably 10 to 15 years ago. That was still here in this area. Man. There's such a connection to the Tampa Bay area with the WWE community. I remember after Randy Savage's death, I sat down with Mean Gene Okerlund, who, you know, he called Sarasota home for the longest time. So there's this huge connection here. We were always out at New Year's Eve parties with Hogan and his friends at his restaurants because we were going live from these places because of the impact that he's had on the community. And I do remember, because he had such an impact, I think more so like Clearwater and Clearwater Beach, when we did go out to his childhood home, because that is in Tampa, I do remember neighbors telling us that they wish that maybe he did a little bit more for the community there in that South Tampa area, in that, I think it's called Port Tampa, the actual name. And in that area, I remember talking about with them. But they were fans. They knew Terry as Terry, but he didn't come back probably as much to that area as they would have hoped for.
That's interesting perspective, but I'm sure that people were still very proud. And
oh, of course.
Yeah.
You know, you heard that name, you watched it, and you're like, oh, he's from here. Anybody from the Tampa Bay area, like we're proud of that. You know, we're proud. We have that pride, and so yes, we'll claim you.
Did you get a chance to just chat with him just for a few moments?
I've never chatted with Hulk Hogan. I've covered him a lot. I covered his trial every single day, and that trial went on for weeks, and so we saw him in and out of the courthouse, watched his walk. He still looked big, looked like, you know, Hulk Hogan, even in a full-on suit. So no, I've never actually had a conversation with Hulk Hogan, but I sure have covered him quite a lot.
Outside of the wrestling gear, I imagine you still saw the same support from fans and loved ones as well during all of that.
Oh, always. There is just like a following with the WWE. Like I said, from Randy Savage's passing to, you know, Mean Gene, he passed away a couple years ago, and to this. So that's why this is just taking headlines everywhere right now, is because people have been so enthralled with him. That right there is from the video you just saw. There was from outside the courthouse. From the courthouse against Gawker. Yeah.
And so you're going to head back out to that area today where he grew up.
Yes, we will be going live from his childhood home. So just stay with us because we'll show you what his house looks like now. We'll try to connect with neighbors who grew up with Terry Bollea and just see what their thoughts, because everybody right now is talking about this, is remembering Terry Bollea, remembering Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to also know how many people who knew him are still there, because that is an area that's changing a lot. So I'm sure there are still some people who have some fond memories, but you know, I know you'll go out there and get some great
stuff. And see that there's the impact of the house, right? Because it has been so many years since he called that place home. So we'll see how it is, see how that neighborhood is, and see how the neighborhood is reacting to the news today that he has passed away.
The overarching theme was the impact that Hulk Hogan had on the world. When you went back to that tiny portion of the neighborhood there. But can you believe that a moment that happened in 1987, that short moment in time, is what people are really pointing back to all these years later as you go back there, that picking up Andre the Giant.
Still feels like it was just the other day, right? Like you can still picture him in the yellow tank top and the, you know, the red bottoms. Like you feel like you can still see that that person when you hear his name. So even when I would cover him and see him at the courthouse for weeks after weeks, it was just to see him in a full suit. But that's what you always picture back to, is Hulk Hogan there in the ring.
Oh, there it is right there.
Big moment there.
Yeah, I know you and yours will be out there gathering and asking all the important questions to, you know, paint a full picture of the.
And I'm guessing people will be stopping by too. We feel like there will be people stopping by there and pay their respects. There's a lot of different locations right now people will want to go to, from his restaurant on Clearwater Beach to his home on Clearwater Beach to, of course, his childhood home in South Tampa. He's just so connected here to the Tampa Bay community.
If you had a chance to actually sit down
All right, so you're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sertivant. That is continuous coverage from our content partners there in Tampa, WTSP. Again, the big news of today, Hulk Hogan dead at the age of 71. Clearwater Police say they're waiting to give details during a press conference at 1:30. So here's what we have right now. I just want to update you in case you are just now tuning in. Clearwater Police have confirmed the death of wrestling star and longtime Tampa Bay resident Hulk Hogan. He was 71 years old. Crews from the Clearwater Police and Fire Departments responded to a medical call at 9:51 a.m. Thursday, which is today, at a home on El Dorado Avenue on Clearwater Beach. Officials said the nature of the call was for a cardiac arrest. When they arrived to find 71-year-old Hulk Hogan, whose real name is Terry Balea, he was treated by Clearwater fire and rescue crews before being taken by ambulance to Morton Plant Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Now, Clearwater Police will hold a news conference at 1:30 and about 5 minutes, give or take, to give more details. Again, we want to send it to our content partners there in Tampa, 10 Tampa Bay News, WTSP, as they are doing continuous coverage of Hulk Hogan, again, passing away this morning at the age of 71. Let's take a listen in to their coverage. Are we good to go with their coverage? Okay, router 3?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Here we go.
Flair shared with us as well. There we go, right? So he talked about how close the two were. There the two of them are. And Emerald, you talked about Hulk Hogan actually providing some spiritual strength for Ric Flair.
Yeah, that was also in the statement that he put out on X. Let me just pull up that full statement there. He said he was one of the first to visit me when I was in the hospital with a 2% chance of living, and he prayed by my bedside. Hulk also lent me money when Reed was sick. Hulkster, no one will ever compare to you. Rest in peace, my friend.
Okay, and there's that image one more time for you there. Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, and a lot of people, Emerald, the last time they really saw Hulk Hogan on the national stage was that Republican National Convention, the RNC. Do we have any of those images right there? I know we had some photos, we had some video as well to show you what we're talking about as he was campaigning for President Trump at the time.
That's right. You know, a big fan of President Trump's and, you know, has a large base, obviously. And as we mentioned before, for some people that did make him a controversial figure, and there were some controversial moments as well. But, you know, here in this moment, you can see all of the support that he has from his fans. And there he is in character, and the fans are loving it. And there he is carrying the American flag and showing a lot of pride in his country and getting a lot of support from that base as he campaigned for now President Donald Trump.
He became well known for walking around in that boa and those shades, as well as that head wrap that he's wearing, that do-rag that he has on right there. Any more images that we're getting coming into the newsroom? Because we'd love to share this. I know that we're trying to turn some of that stuff back around as it's coming into our editing team right now.
Yeah, no, that there was a lot of talk about his WrestleMania promotion, and you know, here in the Tampa Bay area. So he was out doing some things with that and making sure that WrestleMania got some love. And I think we have some video if we're able to show it. There you go. You know, we're going to show Hulk there here in a second as he was promoting WrestleMania, and we're going to let you hear a soundbite right now.
Usually at the WrestleManias, about half the crowd is from overseas. So for all the businesses and in the Tampa Bay area, it's going to be a shot in the arm like you guys haven't seen.
No better person to really promote.
Ultimate hype man.
Right? The ultimate hype man. That's a really, really good way to put it. And, you know, again, really unfortunate situation as we mentioned that call that came in this morning at 9:51 in Clearwater. We're actually also getting reaction from Clearwater Mayor Bruce Rector. If we want to pull up that statement, I can read it to you all. He said, quote, Terry, known to the world as Hulk Hogan, was an inspiration to our entire Clearwater community and millions around the world. He was so proud of his home city and was very active in our community. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family, and his memory will forever have a presence and legacy in Clearwater. That was Mayor Bruce Rector.
Yeah, and you know, he's talking about the community outreach, right? So we have some sound from Hulk Hogan also promoting the Hard Rock. A lot of people know the area for that as well. Can we go ahead and listen in on that?
Well, I think it's just raising the bar a whole nother level as far as our economy and opportunities for jobs and placement, you know, and it just puts us on the map. You know, it really does put us on the map as the major player around. So I think this is just a huge step forward for the Hard Rock and the whole community.
And now we know that he was obviously someone who lived in Clearwater and embraced Clearwater, but as we've seen him all across the Tampa Bay area really embracing that. We had Jennifer Titus talking about his home down in Port Tampa, yes. And we want to give you a live look out in Clearwater where he called home, and we're just about a minute or so away from the press conference with the Clearwater Police Department. You can see the lectern there as we await officials to come out and give us more details, because as of right now, the details are very limited, and what we do know is that this took place in the 1000 block of El Dorado Avenue, a call at 9:51 for cardiac arrest. So Clearwater Police, Clearwater Fire Rescue came, responded to that scene, did everything that they could, tried to get him to the hospital, but it just was not enough to save his life. So in that moment, we lost a legend. The world really lost a legend here in the Tampa Bay area and worldwide. Someone that was beloved and people cared about a great deal.
Yes, they did. Sky 10 giving us that look right there of Hulk Hogan's home. And you know, the thing that really stands out to me, Emerald, how ubiquitous Hulk Hogan was.
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
Everywhere. I mean, for the last 50 years, really.
How many pieces of video have we pulled up where he's giving an interview?
You know, he was someone that if he showed up to an event, you know, it was a big deal, but he really did a lot to support the entire community, not just necessarily where he lived in Clearwater, but he, you know, he did have his restaurant there and all of that. And at this moment, though, we're just getting word that we do have that press conference, and we're going to go ahead and take that live.
10 a.m. today, Clearwater Fire and Rescue, along with the Clearwater Police Department, responded to a house in the 1000 block of El Dorado Avenue for a medical-related call. It was discovered at that time Terry Bollea, also known as Hulk Hogan, was experiencing a serious medical-related issue. Personnel provided medical treatment at that time and transported Mr. Bollea to Morton Plant Hospital, where he died at 11:17 a.m. The Clearwater Police Department is conducting a death investigation, which is standard in these types of cases. There are no signs of foul play or suspicious activity related to this call for service at this time. Our personnel is providing the family with the necessary resources. I'm strongly encouraging everyone to keep the family in their thoughts and respect their privacy during this difficult time. We will not be answering any questions, but we will provide additional information when it becomes available. Any public records request should be filed through our public records section with the Clearwater Police Department. No records will be released today. Our thoughts are with the family, and again, we ask everyone to respect their privacy during this difficult time. Thank you.
That was Major Nate Burnside with the Clearwater Police Department, and some of the information that we learned, we did learn some new information, a very short press conference, but a serious medical related issue. We know that that was cardiac arrest, that he died at 11:17, and when they took him to the hospital, they are now conducting that death investigation, and right now there are no signs of foul play, and they are asking that everyone respect the family's privacy at this time. Now, we do have crews who are going to be out at the scene, but you know, we're going to be getting reaction from fans and things like that as they do ask people to respect the family's privacy in this very difficult time.
Right, and not long ago, 10 Tampa Bay news reporter Kristen Barbarisi was giving us a bit of reaction from the ground there, from people who were just shocked to hear the news of Hulk Hogan's passing, 71 years old. Again, if you're just now joining us, we had a very brief news conference, started around 1:30, time now 1:33. As Emerald just made mention, Clearwater Fire Rescue called to Hulk Hogan's home around 10 o'clock this morning, and he died at 11:17.
Yeah, a huge blow to this community, a huge blow to fans around the world who have watched him for years.
All right, so you're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. You just heard a brief press conference from Clearwater Police there regarding the death of Hulk Hogan, wrestling icon Hulk Hogan. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. No foul play. Okay, that was the biggest thing that came from the press conference. Very quick press conference. We may learn more information throughout the day, but we want to send it back over to our content partner there in Tampa, 10 Tampa Bay News. Let's take a listen in.
Just mentioned we had Kristen Barbarisi, who was giving us a live shot and trying to talk to some people, fans in the area, and we do have her live right now. Kristen, what is it like out there where you are right now? What is it like out there for you now?
It's shock, it's sadness, it's a lot of people saying a piece of their childhood died today. They grew up watching the Hulk, whether it was WWE or his reality show with his family. They say this is a familiar face. I just talked to one guy, he's here visiting from St. Louis, and he said, you know, he was heading to the beach with his family, but he heard the news, and he said this is the guy who got him to go to the gym and start lifting weights and working out. So instead he came here to Hogan's restaurant. He just wanted to be here, have a beer in his honor, and really pay his respects to someone he said really shaped his childhood. And that's definitely the sentiment from everyone that we've talked to, you know, whether they grew up with him, whether their kids grew up with him. I talked to someone, she's a grandma now, but she has 3 adult sons, and she said they're close in age, and she had a lot of WWE wrestling in her house. So she feels like she's as much of a fan as her sons were, because that's just what was on in their household. So a lot of people just here paying their respects to this legend. They say there's never going to be anyone else like Hulk Hogan. We're going to keep talking to people and have much more reaction, but for now, live in Clearwater, Kristen Barbarisi, 10 Tampa Bay.
Kristen, thank you so much for staying out there. As she mentioned, you know, just the shock that people are feeling as they're learning this news of Hulk Hogan, who was such a fixture here in the Tampa Bay area.
Yeah, people saying they felt like part of their childhood died.
Yes, yes. I know a lot of people certainly feel that way. And then we'll also have Jennifer Titus, who will be going to his childhood home where he grew up in the South Tampa area, Port Tampa to be exact. And, you know, she kind of talked about how people just knew him as Terry.
Just Terry.
Just regular plain old Terry. And we're very proud of all of the things that he had gone on to accomplish.
Yes, we are. And we continue to get statements into our newsroom right now. We want to pull this up for you because this is a statement. Forgive me, our producer, Parisa. As you know, I cannot see that statement right there. But that is Carol Alt, a good friend of Hulk Hogan, actress and model as well. But you get the gist of the message right there. Loved ones posting online, sharing their sentiments.
Yes.
Talking about the gravity of this loss.
The gravity of this loss, and kind of to summarize what she says in the statement, is that he was so big and that he was so strong that he basically felt immortal. And you know, that is something that hits you when someone does pass. You realize how mortal we all are.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how big or how strong you are. But Hulk Hogan, yes, all of those muscles and all of the strength that we have seen in the videos and things like that.
Sure.
You know, it just a big guy, strong
right?
guy. It is sobering.
Yeah, everybody has an expiration date. We have a statement from Clearwater Mayor Bruce Rector. I want to pull that up as well, because as we talk about the community impact that Hulk Hogan really had, and that goes for the whole Bay Area and then beyond. If we have that statement, I'd love to pull that up for you. Mayor Bruce Rector saying, Terry, known to the world as Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea, was an inspiration to our entire Clearwater community and millions around the world. He was so proud of his home city and was very active in our community. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family, and his memory will forever have a presence and legacy in Clearwater.
Yes, Clearwater was where he called home, and we had that press conference that happened just about 7 minutes ago, a very brief press conference, and we're going to replay that press conference for you so you can hear exactly what police had to say.
Just before 10 a.m. today, Clearwater Fire and Rescue, along with the Clearwater Police Department, responded to a house in the 1000 block of El Dorado Avenue for a medical-related call. It was discovered at that time Terry Bollea, also known as Hulk Hogan, was experiencing a serious medical-related issue. Personnel provided medical treatment at that time and transported Mr. Bollea to Morton Plant Hospital, where he died at 11:17 a.m. The Clearwater Police Department is conducting a death investigation, which is standard in these types of cases. There are no signs of foul play or suspicious activity related to this call for service at this time. Our personnel is providing the family with the necessary resources. I'm strongly encouraging everyone to keep the family in their thoughts and respect their privacy during this difficult time. We will not be answering any questions, but we will provide additional information when it becomes available. Any public records request should be filed through our public records section with the Clearwater Police Department. No records will be released today. Our thoughts are with the family, and again, we ask everyone to respect their privacy during this difficult time. Thank you.
That was Major Nate Burnside with the Clearwater Police Department. Now, we've talked about all of the love that Hulk Hogan has gotten from his fans over the years, but in recent years, there's been some controversy as well, and as those fans mourn his death, there was that controversy, and that includes confessing to using steroids, being involved in a sex tape with his friend's wife, and making racist remarks on camera.
Yeah, when he made an appearance on Monday Night Raw earlier this year for their Netflix debut, fans booed him. The company temporarily removed him from the WWE Hall of Fame because of those racist remarks that you were just talking about right there. He later publicly apologized on Good Morning America and was reinstated into the Hall of Fame. Right now, a beer company that Hogan started has a multi-year deal with the WWE.
Yes, so long career, not without controversy, as we have mentioned. Jimmy Hart, who is his manager, was his manager at the time, put out a statement on Twitter, and this is not in his death, but in recent days there had been some concern about his health, and he said on Twitter, I believe this was just 2 days ago, that, quote, Hulk is doing great, doing phenomenal. Last night at karaoke with Nick was absolutely fantastic, baby. So that was just 2 days ago, where he was trying to reassure the public that everything was okay, and now here we are just a couple days later with that call coming in just before 10 o'clock in the morning in the 1000 block of El Dorado Avenue in Clearwater for that cardiac arrest, where we lost Hulk Hogan.
All right, yeah, one day completely different from the next, and again, Clearwater Police saying no signs of foul play. I'm told we have someone on the ground there. Who do we have on the scene right there? Okay, that is our 10 Tampa Bay News camera right there at the home of Hulk Hogan. You just gave our friends at home the address right there, the thereabouts of the address, where all of that controversy took place this morning with the call for cardiac arrest. Hulk Hogan eventually pronounced dead just after 11 o'clock this morning.
And that was at Morton Plant Hospital, where they took him, died at 11:17 a.m. Clearwater Police are conducting a death investigation at this time, and as you mentioned, no signs of foul play. And the biggest thing that they're asking for right now is privacy for the family, privacy for loved ones, people who cared a great deal about Hulk Hogan as they conduct this investigation, and more importantly, as the family mourns someone that they loved very much.
Yeah, 71 years old, Hulk Hogan gone, an icon of the 80s and beyond. The last time a lot of people saw him on the national stage was at the Republican National Convention.
Yeah, that's right. Campaigning for then candidate Donald Trump, now President Donald Trump. So we're going to roll some of that video there. You see him getting up on the stage and getting the crowd all riled up, a little bit of entertainment mixed in with politics there. And, you know, Hulk Hogan caught some flack for who he chose to support, but you see President Donald Trump right there not long after that assassination attempt, because he had that patch over his ear. But there you have it, Hulk Hogan, as you mentioned, at the RNC, and there he is with Donald Trump Jr., who did say something briefly on Twitter. I think we might have a longer statement on that, but I know that he just expressed his condolences in the passing of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, and we mentioned the acronyms, right? WCW, WWE, WWF, all of that happening back in the 1980s and 1990s. Hulk Hogan headlining WrestleMania as he really pushed that to superstardom and gained a huge following. That's an understatement.
It is really an understatement. I mean, even people who were not into wrestling, you know who Hulk Hogan is.
Yeah, you
know him for the moves. He's a larger-than-life figure, and you were talking a lot about that video that's playing right there, and the moves and everything that he did, and just how popular he became for the things that he did and the entertainment, the spectacle that he put on in the ring.
That right there, body slamming Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3 back in 1987, I believe. Then he recreated himself in the mid-90s with the NWO on WWE's company right there. So Hulk Hogan, an icon, and I'm told that we have some sound from fans. You know, they would be speaking up and speaking out. Can we go ahead and listen in on some of that?
Well, we were driving to the beach, and you know, when you go online on Google and stuff looking for the place, Google popped up that you know, Hulk Hogan had passed, you know, which was, you know, like, wow, unbelievable. You know, it's like somebody that, you know, you look up to when you're a kid. You know, you emulate his moves. You know, it's a sad day. It's just this. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, surreal. You know, because you're in the place that he's, you know, lives, and you know, he has his restaurant, you know, businesses, and you know, it hits hard. You know, it's a sad day. You lose a piece of your childhood, you know, kind of in a way.
Yeah, a piece of your childhood gone, really. And he talked about the impact that he had on his personal childhood and so many across the country, across the world, and especially here in the Tampa Bay area where he was from. Now, we want to show you some fun video. You know, Hulk really embraced his community. He even came here to the 10 Tampa Bay studios to have a little bit of fun.
Wow, all right, now let's talk about the forecast. So, what's it going to be for the little Hulkamaniacs out there today?
Well, the forecast is going to start out about 70 degrees, about 7 a.m. And it's, oh, I'm supposed to read it off there. I was just guessing. It's 72 right now. See, that was
a pretty damn good guess.
Humidity 94%. East-southeast winds 3 miles per hour. Uh-oh, speed limit. You know you can't speed, brother, when the weather's nice.
Those little Hulkamaniacs, be careful. They're at the bus stop this morning.
69 warm start. It's going to go up to about 81 or 82 today, as predicted.
Yeah, and, what you going to do today?
What am I going to do today? I'm going to do all this media press and let everybody know about Impact Wrestling tomorrow night at the Sundome, starting at 7 p.m., brother. That's
warm and humid, brother. Afternoon storms, 50% chance. Okay. All right, that's the forecast. We're going to put temperatures back into the 80s today, and we're going to scare them down. I'm juicing, by the way. Can you tell?
What kind of juice you taking? Carrot juice or orange juice?
I think it's vitamins, 1-a-days.
Oh, this should be Hogan vitamins,
something
brother.
Like that, yeah.
This is great, man. Now I know
all right,
exactly.
I'm going to hop out of the way and let you do it.
Now I know exactly what to plan all day. Board shorts today. You know, Speedos tomorrow. Every day's a beach day here at Hogan's Beach. And without a doubt, after the beautiful day tomorrow, we're going to be. Wait a minute, what's going on here?
We got some fog out there this morning.
We got some fog
up in Zephyr Hills.
Oh man, we got fog everywhere. That's just because everybody was looking at the 24 pythons here today doing the weather, and I just smoked up the whole room. We're so hot in here right now.
Well, all right, now.
Well, how come you don't work with all these beautiful ladies here? What's wrong with you, brother?
It's the best gig, man. It's the best gig I got, right? Yeah. All right, temperatures will start out in the 60s and 70s. We're going to the 80s. It's going to be warm. Is it going to rain today? We got some rain down south.
Well, those lunatics down in Miami, they might have a rough time. It looks beautiful for us.
Yeah, a good start for us. Then we have afternoon showers and thunderstorms. So if you're headed down to the beach, you're headed to the beach shop, or you're headed even to Hogan's Beach today, it's about 3.
All right, Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins hanging out doing the forecast with Hulk Hogan right there. You know, Hulk Hogan was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame back in 2005. So a lot of his colleagues speaking up.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to take you to Chelsea Green at WWE, and you're going to get a little bit of taste of what she had to say in his passing.
Okay, so as you would imagine, a lot of the people that he worked with, a lot of the people that he performed with, they have a lot of things to say. Same went for Ric Flair, right?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. He talked about, you know, really just how Hulk Hogan embraced him, even him coming to his aid and assistance in his illness and sickness, and how he even prayed at his bedside as he tried to recover.
Shows another side of the man who was larger than life. Chelsea Green was the sound that we were trying to go to just moments ago. I believe we have it now.
I mean, polarizing political views aside, he was an absolute icon. And if it weren't for Hulk Hogan, there are many of us in the wrestling industry that would absolutely not be here. He inspired a massive generation. So it's a loss that we are feeling deeply in the wrestling community.
You heard the first thing she said right there, polarizing political views aside, because there was another side to the story that we addressed just moments ago as well.
All right, so you're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. We are approaching the top of the hour, and there you're watching continuous coverage from our content partners, our friends over there in Tampa, Tampa Bay, 10 Tampa Bay News, WTSP. That's where Hulk Hogan lived for a while, for decades, a long-time Tampa Bay area resident. He has passed away this morning at the age of 71. So I wanted to come back on. We've been scouring social media to see if we could get any statements from other wrestlers, other people that knew Hulk Hogan, and we found a lot online, specifically X. Let's go to one of them. This is Triple H. Wrestler, what is his title now? I just want to make sure I get his title right. Is he
CFO, I believe?
Okay.
Let's see. He's the head of the company.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make head of WWE.
Content, I believe.
But
Content officer, if I remember correctly, is of WWE.
But a long-time wrestling
content officer. Yes. That's what I was trying. Yeah.
Top executive there in WWE, longtime wrestler Triple H, posting on X. WWE would not be where it is today without the larger-than-life characters that compete in the ring. And few, if any, loom larger than Terry Hulk Hogan Bollea. He was the archetype of what it meant to be a superstar, a global sensation that inspired millions to work hard at whatever it was they wanted to accomplish, and a look that made him recognizable to fans around the world. Hulk Hogan, clad in red and yellow or NWO black and white, was simply put icon. As a real American or the leader of one of the industry's biggest factions, he transcended and elevated the entire business to heights never before seen in every country and on every continent. There was no one like the Hulkster, and there will very well may never be another. My family sends their condolences to his family, friends, and fans. Again, that is a statement from Triple H, top executive there at WWE, wrestling icon himself. Yes. And he posted pictures there on X from his time in the ring with the Hulkster. Yeah, I mean, and that's the version of Hulk Hogan when he just returned to WWE.
Look how young. I mean, Triple H. This is a while ago.
It's about
Triple
20
H doesn't
years
look like
ago.
That anymore.
Yeah. I want to say over 20 years ago at this point.
Yeah,
he has. I was about to say he has the long hair, and Hulk Hogan still has that black in his beard because he was coming back to I guess to simply say being the good guy again. Yeah. He was a heel for some years as Hollywood Hogan, and so he dyed his beard black to fit the moniker and the character, and so that is these are some of the pictures. It's the iconic Triple H move. That's Hulk Hogan from back in the 80s. That's Muhammad Ali.
That's Muhammad Ali's right there.
I was about to say that was Muhammad Ali. I was like, this has to be in the 80s. This is Hulk Hogan in his 80s in prime. Hulk Hogan again in the 80s, tearing that shirt, the iconic ripping of the shirt there, Hulkamania. So yeah, again, as Triple H put, a global sensation.
Yep.
And we have another statement. Do I need to?
We've got a couple.
Yeah.
So we got Miss Charlotte Flair,
Yeah.
which if people aren't familiar, she is one of the top talent right now, currently on the roster of WWE. This is Ric Flair's daughter, Charlotte's own.
Charlotte's own, Charlotte native.
So we saw the statement from Ric Flair, her dad, about an hour ago?
About an hour ago, yeah.
Now then she posted.
She posted on X, when I nearly lost my dad 8 years ago, one of the few people who was there for all of it was Hulk Hogan. My heart breaks for Nick and Brooke. Rest in peace, brother. And Nick and Brooke Hogan, the children of Hulk Hogan. Yes. And look, it's similar to Ozzy Osbourne, right? Where Hulk Hogan has had a few different careers in his lifespan. I mean, you were introduced to Hulk Hogan as the wrestler, and then
it was more than that. So much more than that.
Reality TV show.
Reality TV. A lot of people, our age.
All right, we remember,
watching
around the same time as Ozzy Osbourne's
VH1,
reality show. So it introduced him and his family to a new generation folks, that reality TV show there. We have another statement.
We got Matt Hardy, who's also a wrestler, part of the Hardy Boys.
Charlotte's own.
So we'll say North Carolina's own.
North Carolina's own.
They're over out near. They're Eastern North Carolina.
I couldn't remember. Okay.
I can't remember exactly.
North Carolina's own. I always want to. I don't know why. I'm sorry, guys. I wanted to claim him in Charlotte, but North Carolina's own Matt Hardy, one half of the Hardy brothers. Here's their post, or here's Matt Hardy's post on X, and it says, "Rip or rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Terry Bollea was the first mainstream megastar in pro wrestling. He was the face of sports entertainment and elevated pro wrestling to a whole new level. I had the opportunity to work with Hulkster a few times over the years and enjoyed my interactions with him. My thoughts and condolences are with his family, friends, and fans, especially his children." So, and again, that is Matt Hardy, another wrestling icon in the business, giving his thoughts and prayers to Hulk Hogan. And also posting that video of Hulk Hogan slamming
Andre the Giant.
That iconic move, but also iconic video of him doing that.
Right.
In some of the stories, I remember I've watched a ton of like wrestling documentaries.
Same.
It was like we bond over that, Carlene. And I remember Hulk Hogan saying in one of the documentaries that Andre the Giant was having some health issues during that time in his back, and this was a big draw for that particular WrestleMania. And so Andre, kayfabe, as a fan, you didn't know what was going to happen, but the wrestlers knew who was going to win.
Right.
And so it was set up for Hulk Hogan to win.
Yeah.
But Andre would not tell Hulk what was going to happen.
Yep.
He would just tell Hulk, "We'll figure it out in the ring.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out in the ring." And Hulk Hogan described himself being so nervous because he just didn't know what the finish was going to be or what's going to happen. And so they're wrestling and things are going well. And then Andre leans in and they do it so well. And I'm paraphrasing it. He's like, "It's time." And he told Hulk Hogan what to do.
Right.
And this is where we get the slam. And so that's how the match ended. So Hulk Hogan literally didn't find out until like moments before this slam that he was going to do this and that the match is going to end like this. And so this iconic story. Have you heard that story before?
I've heard something similar like that too. I like you watch a lot of wrestling documentaries and interviews with wrestlers, and it's kind of interesting that the connection that two like wrestlers who actually like work together, especially like as much as Andre and the Hulkster did, where it's you don't really need communication, you don't really have to plan out things. It's as if you're both kind of speaking the same language. With even though you're in a room of everybody that all speaks English, like you're speaking a whole different language that's nonverbal with your partner, and you that's how these larger than life matches are made. It's cues and
they have full conversations.
And nobody knows.
I didn't learn that until years later that they were having full conversations because you can't tell. You just don't see it.
There's little tells and little things like signal that they that are so small because of course the cameras are right there in your face. Like you can't.
And you're just like, how are they having these conversations?
It's just working with each other for so long. You know it's part of the biz.
And fun fact, Carlene probably, it's not really a fun fact for Carlene, but like, and she mentioned it, but like they built this match right here that you're watching. Over and over the clip as the first time they wrestled. But actually, they wrestled many times, like in the 70s and the 80s.
They're very familiar with each other.
They wrestled, but they build it
to be this huge larger than life,
first
never
time
happened, exclusive, blah blah thing, and it's like they've been in the biz for they've been going round and round for years, but
it's a different time.
It's a different time.
Different time.
broadcasting wrestling was so different
Yeah.
compared to
Yeah.
now, and
Yeah.
it was, you know.
You can't. I mean, you can't even get away with that now. But yeah, I mean, I don't even think people realize. I think for a long time as a kid, I thought that was the first and only
Of
time they
course, because
wrestled.
that's what they told you.
And you're like, oh,
So you
man.
believed it.
And you're like,
there
man.
wasn't Twitter and all these things around, or X now, or just, you know, behind the scenes stuff. Like this is what you knew because that's what they told you, and you bought it.
Well, I thought Hulk Hogan, to a degree, was the guy he was inside the ring. Because of, and again, I keep throwing the word kayfabe. Kayfabe is basically
the persona you have as a wrestler, like your character, essentially.
Living the character.
Living the character.
Yeah, not people not knowing the personal,
not knowing
that
want to
this
quote
is a
unquote
character.
break kayfabe.
Yeah, in which, you know, sort of went by the wayside. It's a long story, but went by the wayside back in the mid '90s.
It's kind of hard now because these are people that are you know, wrestlers now. They can have a social media presence. Like, you're not that person all the time, and you kind of, you know.
And ironically, we read a statement from Triple H. Triple H was one of the ones who kind of broke kayfabe.
Kind of broke kayfabe along the way with his personal relationship with, you know, Stephanie McMahon.
Right.
You know,
So, you know, it's again, Carlene and I kind of nerd out about the wrestling stuff. But we just we want to give you some context. We want to share what we know, some stories. We don't know Hulk Hogan intimately, but we as fans and as people that grew up watching
you feel like it's funny because I was talking with a Hankler Digital EP who is also a big wrestling fan. He's like, it's one of those people that you thought would live forever.
Certainly,
you know what I mean? He was larger than life in that way, where it's like, no, nothing will happen to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
you know.
So yeah, when I came back into the newsroom right before noon, I was like, I got the news. I'm like, what?
It's a wow moment. It's like it's a kind of like you have to sit there and like, wow.
Wow, that happened.
Yeah.
Again, complicated legacy. He, you know, he was booed the last time he went to Raw. He had some stuff outside the ring.
It's complicated outside the ring.
Complicated outside the ring. He was closely affiliated with President Donald Trump, campaigned for him, spoke at the RNC. So it's moving parts, but a lot of people are remembering him for the legacy in the ring. How he made people feel.
The pop culture impact.
The pop culture impact. I see Corey here, and he was Corey
Corey's
Dudley,
a wrestling fan,
and he said he corrected me quick. He said Rocky 3.
Yeah,
Thunder Lips. I appreciate that, Corey. All right. Okay, so we will continue to follow this story. We had a press conference earlier on update, no foul play suspected in Hulk Hogan's death.
Our colleagues in Tampa have been continuing coverage, and we can certainly dip back into that, but let's bring it back home.
Okay. But yeah, we'll have more on Hulk Hogan throughout the stream this afternoon.